I managed to pick up a finned primary cover for a Sportster. Got the long tedious task now of trying to polish it. Do I just polish the fins, or do I do like the other side, polish it all up? It's a hell of a lot of work. There's a lot of roughness, I don't know if you can see it there. It's a lot of casting to smooth out. Much like the other side really, but it obviously it's like 3 times the size. So yeah, I'll get on with that hopefully, and I'll show you the progress. Well, I'm about 4 hours in now. Got most of the fins done, some of the top lot getting there slowly, but there's still a lot of work to do. So hard to get this down. Only when you start to flatten it off that you realise that it's not actually that flat at all. You flatten an area off and you've got the low pocket. It's the same on the other bits that I've done. So you've got to take all this area down to get to that bit. Otherwise when you polish it, it'll have like a dip and it'll look crap. But I don't know about in there. So if we get this edge done first around here, flatten that off a bit more, and keep going. Keep going, I suppose. Well, it's another couple of hours work, about 3 hours actually. I'm getting there. Top surface is a bit smoother now. I'm still only on the 80 grit, so I've got a long way to go yet. But we're getting there. Like the others, I'm going to leave this roughness in the corners, just because it adds a little bit of age into it. I think once that darkens down a bit in there, it'll look like it's an old cover rather than a brand new cover that's been polished and aged. And polished a long time ago and aged, that's the idea that I've done with the other side, but we're getting there slowly. Well, that's going to have to do. I've had enough, I've got blisters, and that's it. It's about matches the other two, the other covers anyway, so it's about right. Cool. So I've got to take the other one off and check out where the seals and bits and pieces go. Assemble the seals and that in this one and put it back on. So let's do it. Okay, what I have found is that the bolts they give you to hold the cover on aren't actually long enough. They only go in a couple of threads before they bite, hold the cover down, so they're too short. But they're capped holes under there, as you can see. They're blind holes, so there's enough meat on them to tap them down to use the longer ones, which are here. Just enough to put an extra couple of threads on, so they'll be long enough. Why they use the shorter ones, I've got no idea, but they're not long enough. If you nipped them up a little bit too tight, they'd pull the threads out and then you'd have trouble. So I'm tapping the holes down a little bit just so I can use the longer bolts. I feel better with them. So yeah, then I've got to have a look at this. Don't know why they made this cover, not quite keen on that really. It's a bit like new school and old school idea. Don't know about that yet. If the standard cover fits that hole, I may get an aftermarket one or make something up myself if it doesn't. Not sure yet, but we'll see. I've got to put the seal in there, the bush in there, then the seal, and there's a seal that goes on the clutch clutch cable. Yeah, so I'll tap these and then we'll have a look at this. I'm quite surprised at the difference in the cases from the outside anyway. It's quite a little step here, it goes up to here, but this one is really big, curves around. Interesting. Oh well, we'll have to see. Got to put the bush and the seal in this one. It was a bit difficult to get out actually. I tend to get stuck in there, but we'll have to see. Right, here we go. Right, put the bearing in and the chain adjuster. Just a matter of unbolting it and putting it in. Press that in from this side because it's got a countersunk bore, so it goes in from this side. And the oil seal's on the other side. That's in. So all I've got to do now is clean up the gasket surface and put it in. Right then, it's on. Didn't film it because it was just too awkward to hold the camera and do all the work. But it's only a primary case cover at the end of the day. There's loads of YouTube videos about that. But if you want to fit one of these, certain things you've got to watch out for. These bolts, that one, that one, that one, and the one under here, are longer than the standard bolts, so the standard bolts won't fit. I actually bought a stainless steel set to replace all these, but them ones were too short because they're the standard bolts. Fortunately I had some longer ones, so it wasn't a problem for me, but it could be a problem if anyone else is fitting them. It doesn't say anything about that in the instructions, which you actually don't get because there aren't any instructions. The other thing that was a right pain in the butt, the clutch cable that goes through the housing, the hole where the cable goes through is too small for the nipple to go through. So I had to drill that out, which was a right pain, but I managed to drill it out and not damage the threads. But the other thing, which I'm not quite sure I'm going to fix yet, is a gear shifter. Touches the casing before the bolt lines up with the slot. There's a slot in here, the bolt goes through and it runs down past the slot, so even if it comes loose it won't come off, but it won't go on. Oh, what are you going to say? We'll turn it around then. Yeah, but it won't go on that way either, because the splines only go to there and this is recessed in the end to take the main shaft, which is obviously bigger than the splines. So when you turn it round there's no recess, so it only goes up to the end of the splines, which means it doesn't actually go on far enough. So what do I do? Well, at the moment I'm not sure. The only option is to ream that out and take some of that spline out back to there, put it in the mill and try and take that out to give me enough space for it to slide over the splines, or the shaft should I say, not the splines. Yeah, so that's going to have to be later because it's getting late now. And I'm going away for the weekend, so it's going to have to wait. So that's that.